Reading Evangelicals: How Christian Fiction Shaped a Culture and a Faith. Written by Daniel Silliman. Narrated by Trevor Thompson. The sign says, "Closing. Everything 10 to 40% off." The parking lot is slushy with yesterday's snow, and inside people drip. They open their coats, put gloves in pockets, and smile at the clerk who greets them. The store is more crowded than it has been in a long time. It has the happy hum of Christmas shopping, even though it's March 2017. The store's sound system plays a bouncy, upbeat song. I got an old church choir singing in my soul. I got a sweet salvation, and it's beautiful. I got a heart overflowing 'cause I've been restored. There ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. Despite the cheer, the regular ring of the register signals the end of the Mishawaka, Indiana bookstore. This is one of 240 family Christian bookstore outlets across the country. And the chain, the world's largest retailer of Christian-themed merchandise, is going out of business. Evangelical bookstores, like Family Christian, have been a curious feature of the American cultural landscape since the 1970s, when the number of these little stores doubled and then tripled across suburbia, and annual sales swelled to an estimated $770 million per year. By the early 1990s, evangelical retail was a $3 billion business. Now, across the country, this industry is collapsing, and all these stores are closing. Family Christian is covered in signs that say, "Sale, sale, sale." I'm here to browse, people watch, and think about a question I've been working over for a number of years. What is an evangelical? The question emerges at particular moments in the public conversation that is always rolling and roiling in America. More often than not, it's because of politics. When Jerry Falwell Sr., a Baptist minister from Virginia, launched a series of I Love America rallies in 1976 and started talking about how he used to believe Christians shouldn't be involved in politics, but now thought they should be because they needed to defend traditional family values, people asked, what is an evangelical? Journalists asked, and scholars and regular people, some of whom were evangelical and had strong feelings about how the question was answered, and some of whom weren't. But they also had opinions about the right answer and felt, with some urgency, that it was important to have the right answer. The question re-emerged in 2000, when presidential candidate George W. Bush said that he was an evangelical and his favorite philosopher was Christ. Then Bush went on to win the White House, and there was a sense that you had to be able to define evangelical in order to understand what was going on in the world. People asked again in 2016, with the election of Donald Trump. It was widely reported that a lot of evangelicals voted for Trump, which raised the question of what an evangelical was. Trump himself didn't seem to know. A few days before his inauguration, he asked two ministers from a liberal Presbyterian church near his offices in Manhattan if they were evangelicals, and when they said no, he seemed confused. Other people seemed confused too. None more than the many people who thought they were evangelical but didn't vote for Trump or support Trump, and actually found him pretty repulsive, and couldn't understand how other evangelicals could support him with such fervor. It made them wonder if they knew what they thought they did. So they asked again, what is an evangelical? Of course, it was never only big public conversations where this would come up, and never only conversations about politics. A lot of young people have asked what an evangelical is as they try to figure out what they are, comparing the particularities of their childhoods with other people's childhoods, and trying to articulate for themselves their views, value commitments, and ways of being in the world. And adults also have experiences, sometimes as mundane as moving to a new town, sometimes as profound as a new relationship with God, and those experiences raise the question. Historians have been fighting over the definition of the evangelical pretty much since the emergence of a distinct field of history that focused on evangelicals. Some of them got interested in the question as young people who moved out into the world, went to college and then grad school, and decided to try to use the things they were learning to understand their own past and the place they came from. Others saw evangelicals from a distance and got intrigued and thought, I can explain this. I need to explain this.